Hi everybody, welcome to this heart rate training video. My name is Amber and I'm one of the coaches here at Anytime Fitness North Peoria and Germantown Hills. We'll be walking through today what heart rate zone you should be in for different workouts, what your heart rate should be for your age, and a couple of different items in regards to heart rate training. If you have any questions, please comment on this video and we'll be happy to answer those for you. So first off, what is aerobic conditioning? According to ACE Fitness, they are one of the nationally recognized personal training certification programs in the United States. Aerobic conditioning is the ability of the heart, lungs, and circulatory system to supply oxygen and nutrients to the working muscles. And so as everyone knows, a huge part of working out is improving your aerobic endurance. And the reason why we want to do that is because improved aerobic endurance is associated with increased health, reduced risk of chronic disease, such as obesity, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and stroke. And it's pretty clear to say that just by improving your aerobic endurance, you just start to feel better. Some of the major ways that you can improve your aerobic endurance is by doing cardiovascular exercise. The recommendations are that you're doing this 20 to 60 minutes continuously on most days of the week. So that would be at least about 4 days a week. If you are a beginner, you do not have to focus on this being continuous. So you can think about breaking it up into 5 to 10 minute bouts throughout your day and work up to that 20 to 60 minutes a day. And the intensity will really just be determined by measuring your heart rate, which is the main goal in today's video. So one of the main ways in measuring your heart rate is measuring it in beats per minute. So whenever you go to the doctor's office, they're typically checking your resting heart rate. And usually your resting heart rate is anywhere between 60 and 100 beats per minute for the average person. The lower your resting heart rate, then the better shape that you are in and the more efficient your heart is beating. So you can find your approximate max heart rate by taking 220 minus your age. So if you are 20 years old, then your approximate max heart rate is about 200. So this is an approximation. Some people that, let's say that you are 20 and, by this 220 minus your age, your max heart rate should be 200. If you're really out of shape, then you actually might have a max heart rate that's much lower than that, and vice versa. If you're in really, really good shape, then you might be able to get your max heart rate up past that 200 range. Now, keep in mind that when you find your max heart rate number, and again, this is approximate, but if you're doing a workout and you start to notice that you're getting really close or you're actually going over that approximated max heart rate, then that's an indication that you are in better shape than most people your age. So if you were to be working out and you're going up, getting close to that approximate max heart rate number, it is very rare that you're going to be able to probably take your heart rate up past the 95% of max heart rate during a normal workout. It's really hard to push yourself that hard. So that's just something to keep in mind. Heart rate zones can be found by using a heart rate zone calculator. There are several out there. We have used ACE Fitness quite often. So if you just plug in your age, it'll give you, based on if you are a beginner, moderate level, or advanced in terms of your cardio exercise, what range your heart rate should be in. It's best to measure your heart rate consistently throughout your workout, so about every 5 to 10 minutes. If you do have a heart rate strap or a fitness tracker on, this is really easy to do because you can just simply glance down at what your heart rate is in the moment. But if you aren't wearing any of those items, then you can also just find your pulse on your wrist or on your neck, there on your carotid artery. And it's best to keep moving in some way because your heart rate does immediately start dropping once you have stopped exercising. So then the question is, where should your heart rate be when you are doing a workout? What zone should you be in? And there's really not a great answer. because everyone is very, very different. And it depends a lot on what type of workout you're wanting to do, as well as your intensity that you're able to push yourself. So beginners probably not going to be able to push themselves up to the red zone, which we'll talk about here in a second. But then those that have been working out for a long time and are a little bit better shape, you're going to be able to push yourself into that red zone quite often, and find that intensity level. So just note that the higher the heart rate zone, the more calories you will burn. There's a lot of articles out there and research regarding if you're in a certain zone, then you're going to burn fat versus muscle. There's some debate on that, and so I'm not going to really go into that, but just know that the higher the heart rate zone, the more calories you will burn. But the caveat is that you don't want to go into that 90 to 100% max heart rate for your entire workout, because you're not going to be able to do that for an extended period of time. So you want to be able to still hit that 20 to 60 minutes per day, and that's why we'll talk about the intensity here. The typical cardio workouts should be at an intensity anywhere between 60 and 80% max heart rate. Typically below that 60%, you're not really working out. You're just maybe going up the stairs or running a vacuum or something along those lines. So on a rating perceived exertion scale, you might have seen these up on a gym wall or, at a hospital rehab center, to where there's a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being like you're sitting on a couch, not moving around at all, 10 being that you are about ready to keel over. You're working at such an intense level. You should be working around a level of 6 to 8. So if you aren't wearing that heart rate tracker and you don't want to take the time to check your heart rate, you can also just simply ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do I feel like I'm working? So then if we talk about zones, we can just simply take that RPE, and if you are on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is 10%, 10 is 100%, you can actually take those numbers and put them into a percentage of your max heart rate as well. If you want to look at it either way, that's fine. So if you look at RPE of 5 or at 50% or lower, then you are in the gray zone. RPE of 6 or 60% max heart rate, blue zone. RPE of 7 or 70% max heart rate as the green zone. RPE of 8, that's the yellow zone. And then RPE of 9, that is the red zone. We do in our clubs have My Zone, so we do have that available to where you can have a rental strap or you can purchase one of your own, and those colors do line up really nicely with the My Zone display that we have on our TVs. And so lastly, the zone that you should be in is really dependent on the type of workout you're going to be doing. So there's 3 types of workouts. 1, steady state exercise. This is typically going to be if you're going out for a run or a walk, you're on the treadmill. These are going to be steady state exercises in the sense that you're going to hit a plateau. So you're going to see that warm up. So your heart rate is on the rise. And then as you hit your workout, it's going to stay pretty consistent in terms of your heart rate for the majority of the exercise regimen, and then you'll see that drop off as you cool down. There's an interval workout, so this is when you'll see that you would do some hills or something along the lines to where you're maybe down at a level 6 and then you're going up to a level 8 intensity, coming back down to a 6, and there's some thought behind how long you are going and being a little bit more intense and then bringing it back down. So that is an interval workout. You're usually wanting to work out between a 6 and an 8 intensity, or 60 to 80% max heart rate. So a HIIT workout, this is one to where you're going to see, because HIIT stands for high intensity interval training, you're going to see the intensity jump up a little higher. And the reason being is because HIIT workouts are typically shorter duration exercises or shorter duration of workout routines. So you will see that you're going into that red zone, but you're not going to be staying in that red zone for long periods of time. You're just going to shoot that heart rate up for short bouts of time, and then you'll see some short rest periods to follow. We hope this answered some of your questions in regards to heart rate training. Again, if you have any other questions that you can think of, we would be happy to answer those for you in the best way that we're able. You can just comment on this video and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.